Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you 3 ways to model that complex infinite shape. As usual, join my Discord server if you need some help on your projects. And if you want to get better at 3D modeling, I made a mentorship program where I teach you how to make professional 3D models. I give you homework every week and I give you proper guidance and feedback to help you to improve faster and efficiently. You can find all the information on my Discord server. I'm going to 3D print this model on jlcpcb.com, which is the company that sponsors this video. JLCPCB is an industry-leading 3D printing company that provides a lot of different printing methods. Let me show you how you can upload your file. First, you have to export your 3D model in a specific format. You can choose between STEP, STP, STL and OBJ. I'm going to choose OBJ. So once you're on jlcpcb.com, click on JLC 3D printing CNC machining, choose 3D printing, and as you can see, you can choose between 4 different materials. So click on quote now, upload your file. You can now choose the 3D printing method, the material. I'm going to choose SLM for metal. And as you can see, it needs 72 hours to be completed. You can also click on this icon to visualize your product. If anything is bad, the website will pinpoint the bad areas, so everything looks fine. Metal is the most expensive, but if you choose another material, the price becomes much cheaper. Add a product description and click on Save to Cart. Click on this button and click on Secure Checkout. If 3D printing is something you're interested in, you can open the video description and click on the first link. If you're a new user, you can get a $60 free coupon to spend on the website. So I'm going to show you 3 ways to model that infinite shape. The first one is a way that I found after a lot of experimentation. I'm going to model 1/4 of the shape. So it means that part. Okay. So in front view, it looks like something like this, but let's remove that. In side view, it should look like this. Okay. So that's the shape that I'm going to try to replicate. Remove that picture, go to top view, add a plane. In edit mode, select the face, right click, subdivide, press Shift R a couple of times to repeat the latest command. Select these faces at the center, remove them. Select these 2 vertices, press J to connect them. Remove these 2 edges and press Ctrl R to add 2 edge loops like this. In object mode, you can use the mirror modifier like that. Flip it and do the same on the y-axis. Flip it like this. Or if you have hard ops like me, you can just select all the vertices in edit mode, press Alt X and move your mouse, and it's done. So still in edit mode, I'm going to select the faces, RZ 45 degrees. I do it in edit mode so that way the transform values are not affected and I don't have to press Ctrl A and apply the rotation. So now in edit mode, I'm going to select these faces, remove them. I'm going to add a simple deform modifier, go to front view, and as you can see, if I increase the angle to something like 110 degrees, I have my curved shape like this. Apply the modifier, right-click, shade smooth. I'm going to duplicate it, Shift-D, rotate it on the x-axis by -90 degrees, go to edit mode, SY-1 to flip it. So now we have this shape. I'm going to select both shapes, RX -45 degrees, to align it with the world. And as you can see, on the picture, there is a gap at the center, so we are going to reproduce it. So select both models, enable the magnet over here. This is the snapping button. Set it to increment and click on absolute grid snap. And now I'm going to raise the shapes by 1 grid unit, like this. Select this one, select this edge and do the same, but enable proportional editing first and click on connected only. So let's move it 1 unit on the left. Do the same on this edge, like this. So now what I can do is to select both shapes, Ctrl J to merge, In edit mode, select all the vertices and merge by distance. Now I can do object, set origin, origin to 3D cursor, apply the rotation, Ctrl A, rotation, add a mirror modifier on the Z-axis, apply it. In side view, I'm going to select this edge, snap it at 0, do the same over here, and same behind. Like this. So now we have our perfect shape. We can now set the gizmo to normals, turn off proportional editing, select all the faces, Shift N to flip the normals, select these faces, SZ0 to flatten everything, and repeat on each corners. SZ0, SZ0, over here, SZ0, SZ0, okay? So now we have the shape that we wanted. We can add a solidify modifier, increase the thickness, and put the offset to 0, like that. Okay, something like this. Apply it, select the sharp edges, including these long edges. Add a bevel, Ctrl B, add one segment, press P to set the shape to 1, and add one edge loop in the middle, like this. And now, if I add a subdivision surface modifier, I have my perfect shape, RX 45 degrees, and apply the rotation. And as you can see, the shape is perfect. So this was the first method. Now I'm going to show you another one found by SNS. His idea was to draw a line like this and like this to get a vertex over here, a vertex over here, and another one over here. And we are going to bevel this one to get a curve like this. So he noticed that if we draw a triangle like this shape will be flat, and the whole shape is a tetrahedron. Let's try to replicate what he showed me. So first, let's add a cube. In edit mode, remove everything but the vertices. So click on only edges and faces. And now we have to connect the diagonals. So like this, like this, like this, connect, connect, connect. And now we have to fill the faces. Like this and like this, okay? So we can select one vertex, press Shift G and select amount of connecting edges, and you can remove them. Okay, now if we draw the triangle again, like this, we need a vertex over here at the center, over here, and over here. So how do we do that? We subdivide. So let's select this shape. You can select all the edges, press Shift E1 on the numpad, press Enter, then Ctrl 1 to add one level of subdivision and apply it. And now we have the edges at the center of these long edges. Let's remove the creasing, select all the edges, Shift E minus numpad 1. And now we have to select these two edges and the opposite ones, these two. We can add a bevel, like this. But now we have a problem. This edge and this one doesn't have the same length. So how do we fix that? Select these two, right-click, Loop Tools, Space. Do the same on this one, Space, and do it again everywhere. So let's delete the vertices that we don't need. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. Delete vertices, like that. Now you can select these edges and remove them. And now I'm left with the shape that I need to bevel. So let's select these vertices, not this one. Select these 4 as well. Ctrl-Shift-B to bevel, add something like 6 segments. Now you can select all the edges and extrude towards the 3D cursor. E, S, and extrude. Rotate the shape by 90 degrees on the X-axis. Select the faces, Shift-N to recalculate the normals. You can add a solidify modifier, increase the thickness a little bit, put the offset to 0, increase the thickness a little bit more, like this, apply it, and now I can select all the sharp edges, including these ones, and add a bevel. Add 1 level of subdivision, and this is how you can make the same shape. So it was the second method. I think it was very smart, and I'm going to show you another one with modifiers. So third method, I'm going to start with the plane, rotate it by 45 degrees on the Z-axis, inset, add a loop like this. You can remove the center faces, scale this one a little bit. You can remove these faces. Select this edge, raise it a little bit. Make sure to click on the snapping button over here and set it to increment and absolute grid snap. Let's add an empty. Rotate it on the Y-axis by 45 degrees. We can select this edge, rotate it on the Y-axis by minus 45 degrees and move it on the grid like this to snap it. We can select the mesh, raise it a little bit, let's say 2 grid units, set the origin to 3D cursor, set the 3D cursor over here, set the 3D cursor as the pivot point, rotate on the Y-axis by 45 degrees, like this. You can now add a mirror modifier on the X and Z axis. Press Shift-C to set the 3D cursor back to the center of the world. Click on this mesh and do origin to 3D cursor. If the alignment is not good, you can open the transform panel, reset the rotation value, move this mesh to the right a little bit and select this edge and place it at the center of the world on the Y-axis. Enable the modifier again and put the origin to 3D cursor. That way everything is aligned. Now you can rotate it again by 45 degrees on the Y-axis. Add an array modifier. Uncheck relative offset and click on object offset. Let's create a new empty. Rotate it on the X-axis by minus 180 degrees, by minus 45 degrees on the Y-axis, and by 360 degrees on the Z-axis. Select the mesh, click on Object and select the second empty, like this. And if the shapes are not aligned, select this edge and push it downward a little bit, so that way everything is perfect. Okay. You can add a solidify modifier, put the offset to 0, increase the scale a little bit, like this. You can apply everything. Now let's add some subdivision, because we don't have enough geometry. Now we have to be careful because we have some hidden faces inside. As you can see, if I display the wireframe mode, there is a face over here, a face over here, 2 faces over here, and 2 over here. We have to delete them. There is also 1 over here, and 1 over here. X, remove faces. Now we can select all the sharp edges. Deselect this one, 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 and this one. Perfect. Shift E1 on the numpad to crease. Add 1 level of subdivision. Apply it. And perfect, we have enough subdivision. Right-click Shade Smooth. Hide the subdivision surface modifier. Remove the creasing. Shift E-1. Select the sharp edges, including these long edges. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Add a bevel, Control B, and this is done. You can enable the subdivision surface modifier again, and as you can see, the shape is perfect. I hope you enjoyed this video. If yes, please leave a like and a comment, it helps my channel to grow. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.